Late night shows can be a blessing or a curse to celebrities depending on who you ask. And unfortunately for some celebrities, after a late night appearance, their careers were never the same. I'm Mackenzie and let's get into the top 10 celebrities who destroyed their careers on late night shows part 2. And at number 10, Crispin Glover. Things felt off about this interview almost as soon as Glover walked on stage. He was wearing a wig, skin-tight pinstripe pants, platform shoes, and huge glasses. Things only got worse once the two started talking, and it was clear something was very wrong with Glover. At one point, Glover even started reading out negative stories about himself that were written in LA Weekly. Then the tone shifted and Glover tried to challenge Letterman to an arm wrestling match to prove he's strong. Then he randomly kicked towards Letterman and almost hit him in the face. Letterman tried to defuse the situation and leave by saying, quote, "I have to check on the top 10 list." After that interview, Glover was written off as crazy. And at number 9, Charles Rocket. Charles Rocket was primed to be a breakout star of SNL in 1981. Fans of the show called him the perfect mix between Chevy Chase and Bill Murray, and his segments on the show were adored by everyone. However, his career completely imploded after he accidentally said the F word during the live broadcast. Every cast member at the time knew how important it was to never swear on TV, as it would get you fired. That's exactly what happened to Rocket. He went from being one of the best cast members of that time to basically nobody, and his career trickled off slowly after he was fired. And at number 8, Brian Williams. Brian Williams was one of the top news anchors ever, filling the coveted nightly news spot on NBC. He was even so well respected that he was frequently a guest on SNL and 30 Rock, but that all changed when it was exposed that Williams was a liar. The lie first started back in 2003, and he basically claimed that he was riding in a military helicopter that was forced to the ground while flying over Iraq. The plane was hit by an RPG and almost crashed. He kept repeating the story over and over for years after, even mentioning it on Late Night with David Letterman in 2013. But when the world found out that the whole story was a lie, everyone was shocked and felt they couldn't trust him again. He ended up getting a 6-month unpaid suspension from NBC, and his career took a massive hit. He never came back to his original role and was demoted to a smaller network. And at number 7, Abel Ferrara. Conan O'Brien recently revealed who his worst guest ever was, and it was none other than Abel Ferrara. Anybody familiar with the interview definitely knows why. O'Brien spoke about it on the Armchair Expert podcast, where he shared that Ferrara came on the show against his will and made it clear that he didn't want to be there. Conan went on to say that Ferrara even left the building right before the show was about to start, and Conan's staff had to track him down and drag him to the studio. O'Brien estimates the director was intoxicated throughout the discussion. This made the interview cringy and hard to watch, but it's now a fan favorite. Conan called it, quote, "Compellivision," meaning it was so bad the viewer couldn't stop watching. It's so infamous William Dafoe even commented on it during his own interview with Conan. And at number 6, Sinead O'Connor. Sinead O'Connor was at the peak of her career when she was asked to perform on SNL, but the live performance didn't go as planned and her statements had serious repercussions. O'Connor performed on SNL in October of 1992, but SNL was probably wishing that she didn't, because O'Connor ended the performance by holding up a picture of Pope John Paul II, ripping it up, and stating, quote, "Fight the real enemy," obviously offending millions of people. The show quickly cut after they saw what happened, but the damage was already done, and tons of angry calls came flooding in. One audience member even tried to assault O'Connor and had to be removed by security. Not only was O'Connor banned from SNL, her career never really recovered. Halfway number 5, Ashlee Simpson. This is one of those accidents that sadly ruined a career. While Ashlee was on SNL to perform, she did one song that went off without a hitch, but her second song caused an infamous moment the internet will never forget. When the music started, the vocals for the track that she sang before started to play, making it incredibly clear that she was lip-syncing. Nobody knew what to do, so her band just kept playing while she danced around the stage and didn't sing a word. In the days that followed, the singer was attacked in the media for lip-syncing, which is especially bad on an all-live show. After the incident, she tried to set the record straight and explain why she lip-synced. She told MTV that she lost her voice because of acid reflux, and instead of canceling her appearance, she thought it was better for everyone if she just faked it. I'm sure she regrets it in hindsight. And at number 4, Prince Andrew. Following accusations that Prince Andrew had close ties to Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, the public demanded answers about why they had seen each other so often and why there was photo evidence of them together. Prince Andrew decided to do an interview with BBC discussing everything, and it was a complete train wreck. When asked if he was close with Epstein, he claimed, quote, "It would be a stretch to say that he was ever close friends with Epstein," and claimed that he was only ever +1 to Ghislaine. However, there are records Andrew visited Epstein after his prison release in 2010. He also said that Epstein, quote, conducted himself in a manner unbecoming, to which the reporter responded, unbecoming? To which Andrew replied, yep, I'm sorry, I'm being polite. Lastly, Prince Andrew claimed he didn't sleep with Virginia Roberts because she said he was sweating, and apparently he had a condition after the war that caused him not to sweat. And at number 3, Jim Cramer. Jim Cramer is famous for being the kooky host of Mad Money, a show that talks about the stock market and even gives tips about which stocks to buy. But after the 2008 crash, everyone was wondering how much Cramer knew that he didn't tell to the public on his show. Shortly after the crash, Cramer appeared on The Daily Show with Jon Stewart and completely destroyed him. Stewart pushed Cramer to reveal that he knew what the banks were doing leading up to the crash, but didn't warn anyone. Stewart even aired a clip showing Cramer telling his audience that Bear Stearns was in good shape right before it tanked. After this, Cramer's reputation took a major hit and people couldn't trust him to give accurate information. And at number 2, Kelly Osbourne. Kelly Osbourne got tons of heat after she made an incredibly insensitive comment about Latinos on The View in 2015. While the panel was discussing Donald Trump's hateful comments about Latinos, Osbourne said, quote, if you kick every Latino out of this country, then who is going to be cleaning your toilet, Donald Trump? You know what I mean? After a shocked reaction from the crowd, she backtracked, adding, quote, I didn't mean it like that. Come on, I would never mean it like that. I'm not part of this argument. One of her hosts, Michelle Collins, tried to help her out by adding, quote, I think what you're trying to say is that Trump probably relies on the people that he's insulting. These comments have haunted Kelly ever since. And finally, number 1, Jennifer Garner. Of course, Jennifer Garner's career is doing just fine, but she was incredibly embarrassed while she was on The Late Show with Conan O'Brien. Jennifer was promoting a new movie she was in where she was a secret agent doing tons of stunts. The pair started talking about these stunts and Conan asked if she had snuck anywhere. Jennifer quickly replied that snuck is not a word and sneaked is the actual word to say, even calling out the fact that Conan had a degree from Harvard and seemingly didn't know that. However, after they came back from commercial break, Conan brought out the dictionary and proved that snuck is a word. It seems that sneaked is the proper term, however snuck has been popular since the 19th century and now both are recognized. So that's all for the list, guys. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments. Before I go, I'm going to shout out some comments from celebrities who destroyed their careers on late night shows part 1. Three Sisters in Wine said, you obviously don't know who Andy Dick is. No one had any respect for him in the first place. Literally half the comments in this comment section are just roasting Andy Dick. I clearly don't know. Yeah, I didn't know everyone hated him. Then James said, wow, I'm surprised Michael Richards is like that. I would have thought he was a very chill guy being so funny. Yeah, same. I get definitely a shock, I think, to really anybody that watched him. The Grandma Sandy said, I don't know who was the worst. Yeah, I have no idea. Clearly, Andy Dick, because literally everyone was commenting about him. Alright guys, that's all for the video today. Thanks so much for sticking around if you made it all the way here. If you liked the video and you want to see some more, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel below. I've been your host, Mackenzie Smith. Make sure to check us out on social media and I'll catch you all in the next one.